Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sunday Video Update Easter Edition. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. Today's date is Sunday, April 5th, 2026. And joining me off camera this week, Dad and Amy, whom of which are both in the kitchen right now. Hello out there in the kitchen. And hello to all of you watching from wherever you're watching from. I hope you are all having a fantastic day. And for some reason, oh, I see. I see what they did. They rearranged my screen. That's weird. So hello to Harley Sawyer in chat. Hope you're having a wonderful Easter. Hope you're doing well. I don't know which country you're watching this from, America or elsewhere, but in any event, hope you're doing well and having a great Easter. We're not doing anything special this year for Easter. We just got like a part of a ham and the crock pot. That's all we're doing. We didn't make any special dinner or anything for Easter. Um, okay, thank you for that reminder, YouTube. How have you been recently? Well, I'm going to get to that. That's what I do here. And, you're not new here, so you know how this works. So, but for those of you who are new here, so this is the Sunday video update. I do this every week, 3 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm here for about an hour, maybe go a little over by a few minutes, give or take, but I'm roughly for about an hour. And I talk about the week in review. Sometimes I talk about world events, current events. And yeah. So, what's been happening in my life recently? Harley asks. Not a whole lot. I've been actually doing okay. I mean, all things considered, but the weather's been crazy here. We had some severe weather come through last week and yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday. Yeah, there were some tornado warnings down by Detroit. And no tornado touchdowns or anything, and so that's a good thing. And there were no confirmed tornadoes last week down by Kalamazoo because again, they got hit with severe weather. All of those thunderstorms were capable of producing tornadoes. They were Doppler radar indicated. There were no confirmed touchdowns by, law enforcement or weather spotters or anything like that. But they were capable of producing tornadoes, which is why the National Weather Service had put out the warning, as per indication of Doppler radar showing that the possibility for a tornado was there. And this is why a lot of local television stations and radio stations, especially TV, and if you're on social media, they talk about this a lot. They cannot emphasize enough the difference between a watch and a warning. A watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of that specific watch. If it's a severe thunderstorm watch, it just means that conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms. It doesn't mean that it's imminent or occurring. It just means that the conditions are there. A severe thunderstorm warning means that it's happening. Like the severe weather has been spotted. It's imminent. It poses a threat to life and property, and you should take all necessary avenues to ensure proper safety and safety precautions and such. And it's the same with tornado watch and tornado warning. Watch means that conditions are favorable. The tornado warning means that it's either indicated by Doppler radar that the severe thunderstorm has the capability, the capacity to produce a tornado, or a tornado is on the ground. It's either one of those two. So y'all really got to know the difference between watch and warning. A lot of people ask what's the difference, and I think it's pretty easy. I think it's obvious. I think it's probably one of the easiest things to understand, but most people don't. And so that's a little, we're going to start the Sunday video update with some knowledge, between watches and warnings. And it's weird because there were severe thunderstorms in southeast Michigan yesterday down by Detroit, and of course tornado warnings. And when I woke up this morning, we had sleet. So if that's any indication that Michigan is like, it's a tale of two seasons, the seasons are duking it out. If that's not an indication of just how whack Michigan weather is, then I don't know what is. But it it came down pretty good this morning when Dad and Amy were asleep. I'm gonna look outside real quick. It's not doing anything out there right now, but it's just really windy, and it looks like the sun's trying to peek through the clouds. Um, it's currently 40 degrees outside, and it's very windy. So, yeah, it's been the weather here has been crazy these past couple of weeks. Um, but I'm doing okay. My car, I don't have my car with me right now. It's over at a friend's house. He said he was gonna replace the rear calipers on my car. So hopefully I'll be getting my car back soon. I'll get him paid and get that out of the way so I can have my car back. But it needs the rear calipers need replaced. And we just don't have the tools. And the shops, they want so much. I mean, I've got the brake pads and I've got the replacement calipers, but they charge so much in labor. And it's like, I don't have hundreds of dollars to be paying you to do this job. And a buddy of mine says, "Hey, I'll do it for $100, maybe a little more, because he'll probably have to use some of his brake fluid, but that's fine. I'll pay him a little extra." Um, but I can't do hundreds of dollars. I can't afford that. So it's just, and with today being Easter, he's not going to I don't expect him to do anything today because it's Easter. So, oh, thank you, Dad. Hello, Dad.
Hello, people.
But yeah, my car is being worked on, not today because it's Easter. And
Tomorrow or Monday
yeah,
or tomorrow or Tuesday, he'll get to it.
yeah, he'll get to it when he gets to it. There's no,
Spend time with his family, his
Um,
girlfriend, and his stepson.
yeah, he's spending the holiday with his girlfriend and the babies and stuff. And speaking of that gentleman, tomorrow he celebrates a birthday, my dad. And it's interesting because my dad was born on Easter Sunday in 1958, and tomorrow will be his birthday, although today is Easter Sunday. So
68.
everybody wish my dad a happy early birthday, if you would be so kind, please, in chat. Dad will be 68 tomorrow. So happy early birthday, Pop.
Still going strong.
I'll say it now on the Sunday video so that way no one can say, "Oh, he didn't say happy birthday to his dad." Yes, I did. Alex Engineer says happy birthday. And that's fine. You're not really late, Alex. I mean, it's only 8 minutes into the show. Happy early birthday. I hope your dad has an amazing birthday. Yeah, we're going to the Pine Run tomorrow night for the Monday flashback. And everybody, a couple of people in chat said happy early birthday. And he says thank you. And as a reminder, tonight is the Fox Sunday flashback with Dan Richards. There's a link in the chat. It's actually pinned in chat. I made sure I pinned it so nobody would miss it. The number is 810-230-9777. My buddy Dan Richards does a show called the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards, located at the studios of 103.9 The Fox. It's an FM station in Flint, Michigan. He'll be going on the air at 7 o'clock tonight. He goes until 11. He plays classic rock, classic country, and southern rock, and all at your request. So it's 810-230-9777. You can listen from anywhere in the world on the Fox mobile app, or you can go on the website by following the link in chat, and the option is there for you to listen live. So make sure you call in tonight. Yeah, he'll take your request. If he's got the song, he'll play it. He'll say, who is this? Yeah, and if he doesn't have the song, he'll message me on Facebook and say, "Hey, associate producer, you want us? Can I get the copy of this song?" And yes, I am the associate producer of the show, which is why I plug his show. And Dan is a really personal friend of mine, so I don't mind promoting his radio show. And George Ann's a sweetheart. So tonight at 7 o'clock, that's Eastern time. 103.9 The Fox. It is the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards. And we don't have any comments from Chewing Off My Toenail this week. I think he's busy preparing meals, dishes for his toenails.
Probably on already.
I don't know. He could be.
Could be eating lunch or dinner.
He's probably in the middle of his meal. I'm very sorry, Jared, that I wasn't there for last live stream. I was caught up in a family emergency. That's understand. You don't owe me an apology. Family comes first. But I hope your family is doing well. I hope everything's good, and I hope you're spending it this Easter with your family. I hope everything worked out good. I don't know the family emergency. I don't expect you to go into detail, but I hope they're well, whatever the reason. And I hope you're doing well, Harley, and you're very welcome. So this past week, yeah, it was busy. We paid bills actually.
Oh, we went for a ride out.
We got a lot of rain here in Michigan, and a lot of the fields have standing water. The creeks are up, the rivers are up, and Dad and I went over to St. Charles yesterday. It's a nearby town that way to the northeast-ish. We went over there yesterday, and the Bad River. It's called the Bad River. It was up really high, and we went down to the DNR office, the field office in St. Charles. And there's you can go down and cast your lines and do whatever, although the river's too high and fishing isn't the best right now. But a couple of guys were down there and they took a boat underneath of the railroad bridge, and they said they had like 4 inches of clearance. 4 inches. And and it's a flat bottom boat they took. And by the way, I wouldn't recommend doing something like that. The river's really high and the rapids, the currents were moving very quickly. I wouldn't recommend taking a boat, especially a flat bottom at that.
Any kind of boat.
Or any kind of boat, especially a small craft boat, because the currents will take you right away. But they said there was 4 inches between the bottom of the railroad bridge and I think the top of their head. I think no, I think it was the top of their head they were referring to, because they were just able to pass under the railroad bridge, and they call that the Saginaw Valley Rail Trail. There's a lot of standing water in the fields. The fields are overly saturated,
Looked like a lake.
and yeah, here in Michigan, and it's true, no matter where you live in Michigan, let me pull this up, because there's a saying, no matter where you live in Michigan, you are never so many miles away from a water source, whether it be a river, a stream, or a lake, or any of the Great Lakes. See, no matter where, I love Google, no matter where you live in Michigan, you are never far from a water source. Okay. This statement is a well-known, accurate fact about Michigan's geography, emphasizing the state's incredible abundance of fresh water. You are never more than 6 miles from a natural water source, no matter where you live in the state. This includes inland lakes, rivers, and streams, which dot the landscape with over 11,000 lakes and 36,000 miles of rivers and streams. Never more than 85 miles from a Great Lake, or from a Great Lake. Never more than 85 miles from a Great Lake. Standing at any point in Michigan, you are within an 85-mile drive of the over 3,200 miles of Great Lakes shoreline. Yeah, that's what it was. You're never more than 85 miles from a Great Lake. So where I live at, in the Chesaning area, see, the closest Great Lake to us would be Lake Huron, because we have the Saginaw Bay, which empties into Lake Huron. Knock it off. We have the Saginaw Bay that empties into Lake Huron, and the bay, you could just go right through Bay City, and it's on the other side of Bay City, and that's not 85 miles away. I don't believe so. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna rock the fuck out of Google today, because I just love Google. how far from my hometown to the Saginaw Bay? My hometown is Chesaning, by the way. Chesaning is located approximately 35 to 45 miles south of the Saginaw Bay, depending on the specific route and destination point on the bay. Bay City, mouth of Saginaw River. The driving distance is generally covered in about 45 to 55 minutes, typically taking M52 north to M52 doesn't go to M13. So that's not accurate. M52 and M13 are both north-south roads. They run parallel, so they never meet. I think it means taking M52 north to M46, because M46 is a road that runs east and west. M13 does not. M13 and M52 do not intersect at any given point because they're both north and south roads and they're parallel to one another. I remember as a child, I used to live in the USA. Yeah. A lot of things have changed in the USA, and I'm not impressed with the way things are going. So I recorded next week's, if you're subscribed to the Jared Fuller Show, I recorded next week's Fun Fact Friday, and it has to do something with, it's not political, but it is about the branches of the United States government. And I kind of break it down what each branch, I mean, I don't want to give it away, but there will be a video. It's got some information. And so now we talk about what's going on in the world. There's a lot going on right now. Trump had released a statement. Let me see if I can pull that up, because he gets pretty colorful. Trump's tweet to Iran. He uses the F word, by the way, in this tweet. Oh, come the fuck on. Oh, so you're not going to let me do it? Fuck this. I'm not going to do this. I know where to pull it up. I know where to find it. Yeah, isn't it? It's just fucked up. This guy is not competent to be in the position he's in. He's just not. And he demonstrates it almost every fucking day. Every word that comes out of his mouth is just trash. It's garbage. So let me see, because I saw the tweet and I know exactly where to look. So give me a minute here and I'll pull it up real quick. So he says Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day all wrapped up in one in Iran, which means that he plans to destroy power plants and bridges in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking straight, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. Praise to be Allah, President Donald J. Trump. I mean, this guy is a clown. First off, and everybody should know. I mean, it's everything he says is bullshit. Secondly, the war, as I have pointed out before, is actually an illegal war. It's an unconstitutional war because it does not have congressional declaration or backing. It doesn't have the congressional approval because only Congress can declare war. It's in the Constitution. Only Congress can declare war. They have the power to declare war. They have the power to fund military. They also have the power to cut military spending. And they also have the power to levy taxes. They have the power to do pretty much everything like that. They are in control of that. The president, he actually got up at the podium not long ago and says, well, I can do pretty much anything I want. No, you fucking can't. According to the Constitution, you cannot do anything you want. The president doesn't make laws. The president signs laws. Because laws, before they become laws, are bills introduced by Congress. You got the House and the Senate. If they reach an agreement, they pass it on to the president. He's got 10 days to sign the bill into law, or he can veto the bill. Now, if he vetoes the bill, that means it goes back to Congress, and then Congress would have to do a 2/3 vote. And if they are successful with the 2/3 vote, the 2/3 vote will override the veto, which means that the bill will become federal law. The president does not make laws. The president, there's a reason why Congress is in the legislative branch, and there's a reason why the president is in the executive branch. There's a reason for that. His job is to, when he actually does sign laws or sign bills into federal law, his job is to enforce those laws. He is the chief executor of, he's the commander in chief, but he is the chief executor of federal law, meaning that if he approves of a bill that's introduced by Congress and he signs it into law, that means his job is to enforce those laws. He is the executor of federal law. He doesn't create laws. The president does not create laws. And as the commander in chief, that also means that he can deploy troops. And when he comes up with these executive orders, another thing to bear in mind, executive orders are not law because they don't pass through Congress. However, executive orders carry the force of law, meaning that all his cabinet members have to abide by executive order because his cabinet members are the heads of federal agencies. So his cabinet members have to abide by federal law or executive orders, I should say, because executive orders aren't law, but they have to abide by executive orders. The vice president doesn't have to. He's exempt from that. But the heads of the federal agencies, his cabinet members, they have to abide by executive orders. And if they are deemed unconstitutional, the Supreme Court and the judicial branch can strike them down. No, Trump cannot do whatever he wants. He's a fucking idiot. And he doesn't understand how these things work. And I agree with you, Alex. I don't know how the hell he continues to run this country. He's not running the country and not in a direction where it should go. He's running it into the fucking ground. This war with Iran is unconstitutional. It's illegal. It wasn't declared by Congress. I don't, it's just, so we're at war, but we're not, I guess. We are, but we're not. And his remarks towards Iran is just out of this world stupid. We need to, we need the 25th Amendment now more than ever. We need to get rid of this asshole because he's just making things worse for everybody. And everything that comes out of his mouth is just garbage. It's trash. How the hell are the people okay with this? I just don't understand. It's my country too, and I can't believe what he's doing to America. Yeah, exactly, Alex. Exactly. It's nonsense. It is absolute nonsense. And I look on Facebook and there are so many people on there they're like, well, can't Trump make laws for this and make laws for that? No, he can't because he doesn't make laws. He doesn't have the power to make laws. His job is to sign bills into law. And anytime Trump or any president signs a congressional bill into law, it becomes federal law. That's how that works. No, Trump does not unilaterally make laws because he doesn't have the power to do that, according to the Constitution. And that's what I'm going by. it is bizarre to me how this guy got in here, because he thinks he can do whatever he wants. And I mean, it's a really, he's a narcissistic, egocentric prick who lies about pretty much everything. This isn't a verbal tick with Trump. See, Trump is just a pathological liar by nature. And the quicker we get him out of there, the better. I don't know, you guys. I'm just looking something up. And he lied anyway by saying he can do whatever he wants, basically by the information I just gave. But the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in this country, the Supreme Court, they can strike down executive orders that are unconstitutional. They have the power to do that. So no, Trump cannot do whatever the fuck he wants. It's just, it is bizarre to me that, and it's the fault of a failed educational system. Most of us understand how the government works, and most people don't. And when I say cabinet members, I'm talking about the people who run the federal agencies below the president. So we've got like the Department of Defense, the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security. These are all federal agents. And the people who run these federal agencies are called cabinet members, and they work under the president in the executive branch of government. Now, Congress is in the legislative branch because they legislate bills to try to get them to become law. And then, of course, the judicial branch, which I'm outlining all of this in next week's Fun Fact Friday on the Jared Fuller Show. But the judicial branch is basically the Supreme Court and all the lower federal judges. That's how government works. There's 3 branches of government. And it's sad how most people don't understand how any of this works. Now, my dad and my Uncle Tim, when they were in the military, they worked under the executive branch. The Army is controlled under the executive branch because the Department of Justice is in the executive branch of the government. The Department of, I'm sorry, not the Department of Justice, the Department of Defense. I take that back. The Department of Defense is in control of the United States military. When my dad was in the Army, he swore an oath to the military, Listen to me. He swore an oath to the Constitution. I can't fucking talk today. You swore an oath to the Constitution when you were in the military. You swore an oath. Now, the military is run and overseen by the Department of Defense. I'm getting it all fucked up. They are run by the Department of Defense, which is a federal agency, and the person who runs the Department of Defense, the head of it, is considered a cabinet member because it's a cabinet level department. And it's, in the federal government. I think I got it right.
Now, we're not talking cabinets that you put food in. Right?
No. Not food, not cabinets that you put food in. I fucked it all up because I'm saying maybe it's because I'm talking fast, but the Department of Defense controls the military. They control and oversee the military. So when my dad was in the service back in the 70s, he swore an oath to the Constitution, but he was working under at the time President Carter because he was in training, and my Uncle Tim the same. And so the military is overseen by the Department of Defense, which is a federal agency. And the head of the Department of Defense is a cabinet member. That's what I tried to say. So, yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that a lot of people don't really understand how that works. But I do. I get it. And we're in a day and age where the most information is available to anybody who has the mind to look this shit up, and they're still so uneducated on how that works. Executive orders, Trump has the power to issue executive orders, and he has the power to deploy troops. However, executive orders technically aren't law because they don't pass through Congress. Executive orders have like the force of law on federal agencies like his cabinet members, but they don't apply to Trump or the vice president, just the cabinet members. And then, like the states, they have to fall in line with whatever the federal law is or whatever the executive order is. The state laws, the state federal law, or the state laws have to fall in line with that. So yeah, it's once you understand how government works, you kind of understand, and you can say confidently, this is how things work. And
Get a better understanding of it.
yeah, you get a better understanding. Because federal law applies to all 50 states. So when they decide on something in Washington, my state, Michigan, in Lansing, they got to go by what's being said in Washington, because Trump in Congress and the Supreme Court judges and all that, they are in control of our democracy. They are in control of how things are done here in America. But the people in Lansing have to go by what they say in Washington, D.C., because the people in Washington, D.C. are their boss. So it all trickles down. But once you get the idea,
Get the know-how or the know-of.
yeah. So whenever someone says to me, well, Trump can make laws, no, he can't. No, he can't. He can sign executive orders. Sure, he has that power, but he himself unilaterally cannot create laws. It has to be approved by the House and the Senate. And if they reach an agreement, then it goes to the president's desk. And he has 10 business days to sign the bill into federal law, or he can veto that bill and it goes back to Congress. And if they can't reach an agreement, like a 2/3 vote, then the bill dies in committee. So, I mean, they teach you this on Schoolhouse Rock. I know, I think the same way it's like it's has to go to the House and vote. When I say House, Marcy, I'm talking about the House of Representatives, like the Senate and the House of Representatives, which make up Congress. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, Marcy, I got Facebook again. I tried to send you a friend request, but it says I have reached my limit for the day. Because they try to eliminate spam. Like, I'm just randomly sending like a bunch of friend requests. Must be something new that Facebook implemented, but yeah, I tried to add you as a friend, but it's not letting me. So if you want to send me a friend request, Marcy, I would absolutely appreciate that, and I will confirm the friend request. I'll add you back. But I rarely ever talk about politics, but when you have a firm understanding of how the government works, and you can read up on things like this, you can educate yourself on how the government works and how things how they're operated, how they're controlled, how they're run. It's actually very interesting to learn. And then when you get a better understanding, you can then pass on what you've learned to other people. And it's like, well, okay, smarty pants, what if the House and the Senate can't come to an agreement on a bill, then it dies. Then it doesn't go on. See, the thing is, the House and the Senate, Congress, they can come up with an idea. It's a bill. It starts out as a bill. It can go through Congress and it can go on the president's desk. And like I said, he's got 10 business days to either sign the bill into law or he can veto the bill, meaning that he can say no. Now, if he says no, it goes back to Congress. And then, they have what's called a conference committee where the House and Senate have to negotiate. They have to find common ground again. And if they're able to pull off a 2/3 vote, which means 2/3 of voters combined between Senate members and House members, there has to be a 2/3 vote combined between the two chambers of Congress. And if the 2/3 vote is victorious, then that 2/3 vote overrides the president's veto, and then it becomes federal law. However, if they can't reach an agreement, it'll die on the conference committee. It'll die right there. So no, the president does not have the power to create bills. When there's a reason why the president, and I've said this before, there's a reason why the president is in the executive branch of the government, because it's in his job title, executive, which means that he executes federal law. If he's signing bills into law, his job is to also enforce those laws. That's his job. And as the commander in chief, he is in charge of the military. He's in charge of, I had this all memorized and I'm fucking forgetting. But I know he is definitely in charge of the military. What is the president in charge of? I knew this. The president of the United States is in charge of enforcing federal laws, which I've already said, commanding the armed forces, which I said, and conducting foreign diplomacy. Key responsibilities include signing or vetoing legislation, which I pointed out, appointing cabinet members. Yes, he can appoint who runs each of the federal agencies beneath him, federal judges, and ambassadors, issuing executive orders and granting pardons. So he can appoint the federal judges. He's got that power.
But there's other judges that are going over him.
The Supreme Court.
Yep, going over him.
So although Trump has the power to issue executive orders, the Supreme Court, if they render them as unconstitutional, the Supreme Court can strike it down. They can say, nope, overruled. That's unconstitutional. It violates he's got to go with it. He can whine and pout like the orange bitch that he is, but there's nothing that he can do. Once the Supreme Court says, nope, we're done, that's it. It's unconstitutional. That's it. Done. You guys are getting an education here today. I don't know why I decided to talk about. Yeah, Marcy, I don't know if you're still in chat, but there was something on the local news that there's going to be some connection between ICE, the Federal Immigration Task Force, in the village of Oakley. So I don't really understand fully what they're talking about. And I'm trying to educate myself here a little bit. ICE and Oakley, Michigan. Let me see. Okay, so let me read this. There's an article here. Saginaw County Village, which is Oakley, signs cooperation agreement with ICE, the first in Michigan since November. So Oakley, a village in Saginaw County with a population just under 300 people, signed a cooperation agreement with Immigration and Customs Enforcement known as a 287 agreement on March 24th. These agreements are formal cooperation agreements with ICE, which, according to the agency's website, delegate state and local law enforcement officers the authority to perform specified immigration officer functions under ICE's direction and oversight. Which I'm having, this is where I'm kind of not understanding, because the local police department is not federally funded. The local sheriff and police departments are taxpayer funded within that region. We fund that. We pay taxes on the police department, the sheriff's department. We pay. The taxpayers pay. That's not a federally funded agency. So that's where my confusion is. There are 4 types of 287 agreements. Oakley's is the task force model, which an ICE fact sheet says allows your officers to identify and report suspected aliens not charged with crimes under ICE oversight and exercise limited immigration authority on ICE-led task forces. But we're talking about fucking Oakley here.
Talking about 300 people.
A population just under 300 people.
Under 300 people.
I highly doubt that Oakley is a hot spot for illegal immigrants.
Or
I mean, that's really weird.
felons or anything like that.
Well, there's felons in Oakley,
Yeah, but I mean.
but not. We're talking about illegal immigrants.
I mean, there's only-
I don't see.
So are you telling me that the people that live in there's more Mexicans or whatever, illegal immigrants in Oakley than there's.
I don't see. I don't understand what it is about Oakley.
Because from what I understand is they have to be in their jurisdiction, which is just Oakley.
Right here,
They,
you just said it, and I'm right here's a paragraph. With the signing of Oakley's agreement, 8 jurisdictions in Michigan, 5 counties and 3 municipalities have such agreements, though it is the smallest jurisdiction by far to have signed one. Yes, because it's fucking Oakley. It's under 300 people. They don't have a problem with illegal immigration. It's fucking Oakley. You might as well send the cops or the ICE agents to Brant.
Yeah.
It's fucking Oakley. Brant is even smaller than Oakley.
Because it's a town.
And the leadership over there, what leadership?
send them to a freaking Owasso.
The leadership was rich.
They need it in Owasso more than we do.
It's also the first in the state to be signed since the large-scale ICE deployment in Minneapolis that led to the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy at the hands of federal immigration agents in January. Prior to Oakley, the most recent agreement signed in Michigan was West Branch, a small city in Ogemaw County. The Oakley Police Department did not respond to a request for comment on their decision to sign such an agreement. It is disappointing to see another jurisdiction join the 287 program, especially an agency as beleaguered as the Oakley Police Department. Beleaguered, my bad. Beleaguered is the name. I mispronounced it. As the Oakley Police Department, which has seen past corruption by leadership, which is true. You know, Ferguson. His name is Ferguson, which has seen past corruption by leadership and where local residents are calling for the department to be unfunded. It is unwise and unfair to local residents for a town of fewer than 300 people to commit its limited local resources to an agreement with ICE that brings costly legal liability, which it does, and reduces public safety. Absolutely. This decision will, of course, also harm immigrant families who live, work, and travel through Oakley. Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
it's
So what's going to happen to people that we know?
it's not even just people we know. It's just people in general.
And they can't tell me under 300 people signed an agreement for them to come to Oakley.
No, the town population is under 300 people.
Yeah.
And that's what I like. It's a mess. Why the fuck? Why would ICE have anything to do with a small town like Oakley? Like I said, go to Brant. If you're so concerned about small towns and illegal immigrants, why the fuck pick on Oakley? Why? I know why, because there's no leadership in Oakley. The people in Oakley don't know what the fuck they're doing. And the corruption over there, you have a cop named Ferguson who he's not even signed up.
No,
He got fired.
Because what the hell was that? He got fired.
I can look it up.
Yeah.
Google is my buddy today.
He wasn't doing his job or something. Oh, he wasn't sworn in.
Why was Ferguson fired? Is it Oakley or Saginaw County?
Sworn in though.
Oh, he was serving as a police chief in the village of Oakley. Based on the provided search result, he was terminated. Mark Ferguson was fired from a previous position. Oh, that's where I got it backwards. Mark Ferguson, that's his name, was fired from a previous position as an investigator with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, not Oakley, Michigan. He was fired for lying on the witness stand. Oh, perjury.
And we want a fucking cop like that here.
During a drug case, which resulted in over a dozen cases being dismissed. So he perjured himself to the judge.
Yep.
They got him on perjury. That's why he was fired. And
So why ain't he in jail or prison?
yeah, perjury is a felony, by the way.
In prison.
Yeah. What's your joke, Harley? He says, want to hear a joke? What do you call fat ICE agents? I don't know. What do you call fat ICE agents? I will say, though, an iceberg. Now that's good. That's good, buddy. I like that. I know one thing. When I was watching the video footage of ICE in Minneapolis, they were slipping and falling on their asses. That was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
That one lady slapped one.
It was so funny to watch them take a tumble.
And one woman smacked that ICE guy because he grabbed her.
Yeah.
Said, I'm legal here. Took your hand on me, wouldn't hit a gun.
Yeah, wasn't that a judge?
No, that was a judge that ICE drove right up in the driveway because she was getting two little kids.
Yeah.
Was going to church.
Right.
Or had a Bible in her hand. And
Yeah.
the little boy had a tie.
Yeah.
Tie, and they went up and started their shit with her.
ICE went up into their drive and thought that
She was a black woman.
a black woman
In a fancy neighborhood.
in a fancy neighborhood. Yeah.
And they saw the van doors open. And they thought she was trying to kidnap them or something.
Yeah.
They were trying. She was hibernating her dad.
Yeah,
It's just
bullshit.
they are armed bullies in jackboots, and they think they're above the law too.
Let them stop me once.
They won't, Dad. They're not gonna fuck with. Why would they?
Why wouldn't they? They're fucking with other people.
Yeah, because they're not white. That's exactly what it is. ICE. So more or less, it's like driven by racism.
It is racism.
Because you don't have to be white to be a citizen of this country.
Just like a Mexican. They're targeting them too.
I'm not sure if anybody got the memo on that, but you don't have to be white to be a citizen of America.
No.
You just don't have to. Now, granted, okay, they come here legally. They go through the proper process to become American citizens.
Get a
Great.
green card, all that. They do-
So the visa expires. Okay, big deal.
They lived here for 20 years.
Big deal if the visa expires. It's not a felony, by the way, for a visa to expire. It's actually a civil infraction, and all they have to do is go get it renewed. If they've been here, and by the way, America founded on immigrants. All they got to do is go get it renewed. Now, these people they pay their taxes. They don't break the law, like they're not getting in major trouble. It's just an expired visa. It's not a criminal law. It's not a felonious violation. It's a civil infraction.
And if it wasn't for African Americans, Jared, we wouldn't have what we have today.
Okay, but
But
we're not going to single out
no, but
certain ethnicities of people, but I'm talking,
No.
what I'm saying is that America was founded on immigrants. Hello.
I have a question, Jared. What would they do as
Okay.
your doctors that have their green card? Like my psychiatrist is from either Afghanistan or Iraq.
They would have to, if
My,
they're,
pulmonary doctors,
Yeah.
different nationality.
if their visa expired, all they'd have to do is renew it.
Right.
But if they got here, what I'm saying, because it's a felony, it's only a felony if they cross the border without going through the process
Okay.
of becoming a citizen because you're granted citizenship by the federal government. If they come here without going through the process, it's a felony. But if they go through the process to become citizens of this country,
They all got the green card.
and their visa expires, that's not a felony. That's a civil infraction. All they got to do is go and get it renewed. But they've been working here. They've been paying their taxes. They're not breaking the law. Leave them the fuck alone. So
They're
that,
the best doctors you can freaking
well,
find.
and that goes for anybody, not necessarily a particular profession, but leave them the fuck alone. Leave them alone.
and the poor kids.
I mean, how hypocritical is it to say, well, they're here, illegal people, people are here illegally.
Reminds me of the KKK.
Okay, so if you park your car at a parking meter, okay, and the meter expires and your car is still there and you didn't put extra money into it to expand the time that you're parked there, should we charge you with a felony? Should you be charged with a felonious crime
No, because
if the meter expires?
fucking poor
Because that's basically what people are saying. Well, it should be made into a big thing. He's not supposed to be parked there because he didn't put extra change into the meter, so he should be charged with a felony. Well, when visas expire, it's not any different than a fucking car parked in a space where the meter expires.
What if you're at your doctor's office and there's a meter and say you're gonna take care and you only got that meter there and you go in and you're sitting in there and you're waiting for the doctor.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go out and then there?
So here's another example. If the speed limit's 55 and you do 70 and 55 and this is your first offense, should you go to prison for it?
Exactly.
I don't think you should go to prison for it.
Nope.
You should get a warning, maybe get some points on your license, but I don't think you should go to prison. It's only until you do something that's a felony, a felonious thing, like if you kill somebody in the process of speeding, then yes, that's manslaughter. Go to prison. But I don't see, like, it's no different. It's no different than I like the first analogy better, honestly. If your car is parked in a parking space and the meter expires, should you go to prison for that? I don't think you should. I think that's silly. That's really like extensive. What you do is you put more money in the meter or you move. I don't see that. That's not grounds to be sentenced to 20 years in prison or even a year, anytime. I think it's weird. And by the way, if you do park your car in a space and the meter expires, it's a civil infraction, but you owe fines to the municipality because those are municipal infractions. So you pay the fines to the city. They can put a boot on your car. Like if you're parking in a spot where you're not supposed to, they could actually put a boot on your car. It shouldn't mean you go to prison. And that's all these people who are complaining about illegal immigrants. Blah, 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 blah. Motherfucker, this country was founded on immigrants, so shut your pie hole. But anyway, I've gone off on a tangent here today, but a good one, a positive one. I'm not, I'm not bitching at anybody in chat because, people are always usually good in chat. Every now and then, on a rare occasion, I might get some dipshit coming into my chat, and I don't have a problem getting rid of them. That's always fun too. It's whatever. But the world is on fire. I don't know how to make it better, but I know what I'm doing for me, and I try to help as many people as I can. People help me sometimes, not always.
But I don't understand it. How can we have 4 seasons in one day?
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Rain, snow, blizzards,
climate change. People don't believe in climate change. By the way, there's data for that.
blizzards,
Climate change is a real thing.
blizzards, tornadoes, rain,
And
floods.
people are like, well, yeah, the climate changes. We get winter, spring, summer, and fall. That's not climate change. That's seasons,
One day or a week.
but it's not climate change. It's seasons. Seasons change. And climate is a certain kind of phenomenon that is experienced over like 30 years. So like places that typically didn't get snow before are getting snow now. That's climate change. Like Texas rarely ever gets snow. Texas, that'd be like if Texas actually got a full-blown blizzard like we get up here in the northern elevations.
Like Arizona.
Arizona getting snow would be like
160
Michigan getting volcanoes. And guess what? We don't have volcanoes because we don't have mountains.
earthquakes.
Well, there's been earthquakes. There's been reports of tremors. But that would be, for Arizona to get a blizzard would be like Michigan having a volcano. We don't have mountains. We don't have natural mountains here in Michigan. Now, one of my friends from the Pine Run thought that we have natural mountains here in Michigan. And no.
He must have been going by the landfill.
I'm thinking he thought that landfills were natural. Because, well, doesn't Michigan have mountains? No.
I sure like to know where.
We're not a mountainous state.
I'd like to know where. I'd like to go see 'em.
Like the Rocky Mountains are in Colorado, and the Appalachian Mountains are that way, southeast of us. Michigan doesn't have mountains. Sorry. I'm just looking at them like, huh?
What?
We don't have mountains here. Well, what about Iron Mountain? It's not a mountain. Iron Mountain actually is a man-made mountain. We don't have natural formed mountains here. We just don't. And he's from I think he's from the Carolinas, I think. The friend of ours that I'm talking about. And he's like, Michigan has mountains, don't it? No. What the where did you learn geography? Like, gee, if we had mountains here, holy mackerel, if we had mountains here.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the money we'd make? Ski resorts, and I mean, we have ski resorts here because of the blizzards, but
The scenery would be so different.
no, we don't have natural mountains in Michigan.
So different, Jared.
Oh yeah, the scenery would be fantastic and it'd be beautiful. I've seen actual real mountains when I was in Arizona. Oh yeah, there's mountains out there and they're beautiful. But no, Michigan does not have mountains. So I guess we're going to end it on that note. Michigan doesn't have mountains. So I thank you all for joining me for another week of the Sunday video update. Maybe you got some information. Maybe you learned something this week. Maybe you didn't. Fuck, I don't know. Dad, anything else you want to say before we go?
Well, just tell everybody happy Easter and be good to each other.
Yeah, have a great Easter, guys. We're not doing anything special here. I didn't prepare any big meal. Wasn't even consciously thinking about Easter. When I was doing my grocery shopping,
Me neither.
I wasn't even thinking.
We're not the only ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who just like whatever.
They don't celebrate it.
We have a ham in the crock pot,
What's gonna be put in?
and I think we're gonna have scalloped potatoes or au gratin potatoes. So we're gonna mix the ham in it. It's gonna be pretty good. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have an amazing week. And your dad has a great birthday. Please take care and be safe.
Thank you.
Dad says thank you. Amy, anything you want to add?
Happy Easter, peace out,
Happy Easter. Peace out and
be safe.
be safe. And between the two of them, I'll just say have a great Easter, have a great week, and happy birthday to Dad. Dad will be turning 68 tomorrow. We will be out at the Pine Run Inn tomorrow night for his birthday. So if you're local to Clio or Montrose or Chesaning, or, if you're not a gazillion miles away, come on out to the Pine Run Inn and celebrate Dad's birthday with us. Listen to great music. Dan Richards will be out there doing music trivia, playing all the favorites. He gives away CDs. The food there is great. The people are awesome. And they are hospitable, they're warm, they're welcoming, and come on out. We love to see us. So tonight, 7:00, the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards on 103.9 The Fox. That's all. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.